They tryna turn Trenton into Baby Flint. Been signs by depression on the billboards ever since. 100 years ago we was lynched. Now they use germ warfare to kill us. I'm convinced, got the evidence. I look around and it's evident. Then go down to City Hall and see so much negligence. Real art is intelligent. A true artist sends messages that speak to your intelligence. They fought and died so I can do my thing. Not to get drunk and high or join no game. I will not let none of you die in vain. For my people I bang, bang, bang. My ancestors been through so much pain. I don't let them die in vain. My ancestors been through so much pain. I don't let them die in vain. I rep for you in everything I do. I rep for you in every place I go. I rep for you in everything I do. In every place I go. They say post-traumatic slavery disorder's fake, but I just tell them all to wake up. Everything we went through, what a way down a rape, bro. Isn't our genetic makeup. So I am my ancestors from block to block. Let's build like it's Tetris. We must unite, link up like a necklace. They fought and died and we disrespected. So I come to correct it. The legacy they left I protected. We only think about self and neglected. You're African but yet you rejected. No, my ancestors been through so much pain. I don't let them die in vain. My ancestors been through so much pain. I don't let them die in vain. I rep for you in everything I do. I rep for you in every place I go. I rep for you in everything I do. In every place I go. I do. I go.
Welcome back to another edition of New Freedom Exchange, a cultural expression for social dignity and community empowerment. I'm your host, co-host, Brother Deen, here with...
Assalamu alaikum, Sister Marsha from the car today.
Walaikum salam.
I thought it was riding with Deen. It's riding with Marsha. Okay.
Riding with Marsha edition.
Hold on, let me pick up a passenger real quick.
Oh, look. Yeah.
We interviewing today.
Excellent.
That's right, I love it. Yeah, and Brother Bilal is here. Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Peace and blessings to the audience. You know what I mean? It's great to be here back on the StreamYard, on the New Freedom Exchange digital studios here on Facebook, New Freedom Exchange, YouTube, New Freedom Exchange. We have a great show set up for you today, and it actually falls right in line to our yesterday. If anyone missed our yesterday conversation with the keto coach.
Oh man, he was going in, man. The keto coach was going in.
Yeah.
I stopped snacking today. I did a fast today.
Wait, how come I didn't eat until 12 o'clock today?
He was on it, man. I'm telling you, man.
He got me feeling bad about me right now.
No, the keto coach. Shout out to the keto coach for the Kasam for giving us some very insightful exchange last night. And today we'll be building off of that conversation actually with health and wellness entrepreneur, Miss Marion Simmons, CEO of Trap and Ride LLC. So when she's going to hop onto the studio in just a minute. So before we do that, let's do our check-in. Deen, what's up, man? I see you looking spliffy. My beloved, you look like $1 million, man.
Yeah, I feel like $1 million, man. You know what I mean?
You look like you're balling out, man. You know, can me and Marsha get $1 or something, man? Want a couple stacks, man?
I'll pay it forward. You know,
pay it forward, man.
If it come through for one of us, it come through for all of us.
That's right. Come keep the gym out tight, man. Like you always say, man. Keep us tight.
No, but today was a good day, very productive day, and just happy to be here back again. New Freedom Exchange. That's all I'm gonna say right now.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Keep it funky, man. How about you? How about you, Marsha?
I'm doing well today. Everything's pretty mellow on this end. And the sun is shining. Not too stressed. So alhamdulillah for everything.
It's hot. It's hot, Mr. Marsha, out
It
there, man.
definitely is hot. When
It's
I jumped
hot.
in this car, I was like, okay, we might be doing this interview outside.
No, it's hot. It's definitely hot outside, man. I
Yes.
definitely was. I definitely started today some field work for the census. So,
Oh,
going door to
wow.
door in this heat, and just sometimes people don't answer their doors even though they're home. I'm not gonna
Right.
go into that, but like
Uh-oh.
even though they're home, they don't want to answer the door. So especially
You
the
got a whole
home.
attitude about that?
No, but the homeowners is, but I entered some buildings. It was really hot, and it was like these are residential buildings, so I'm thinking like there
Right.
should be some AC, but like the hallways was blazing, man. It just felt like it was as hot as it was outside, man. So boy, love it. I said, but mashallah, everything else is good, man. I can't complain, man. I mean,
Cool.
Allah's merciful, the Creator's merciful. We're here, back on the platform as always, and man, I think we've been killing it, man, as of late. So kill them again today with this content, and we're gonna keep rocking them, man. We're gonna keep rocking the beloveds up, man. Some
Let's
beloveds
do
Um,
need to,
it.
some of those need to be awakened, man. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So but the keto coach, he was awakened last night. So I don't
Yeah,
know
he
about y'all.
got me. He
I didn't
got
I,
me.
I didn't eat no one. I wasn't on my honorable Elijah Muhammad today. I wasn't on my one meal. I had two
nah, come
meals
on,
already.
you already on the mothership, man. You got 150 pounds, man. You already on there, man. Yeah, let me cut it out, man. Trying to be on there. Oh, 90 years joint. Oh, my computer's glitching.
90
Uh-oh.
years. Well, we are.
Let's talk
Well,
about it.
let's talk about that briefly, man. Let's talk about that briefly, man. The 90 years, because as that connects to what the keto coach was saying yesterday,
Hmm.
and how to eat to live, But
Right.
we're coming up with the new joint. What's the remix? What's the remix, D? Tell them the
Yeah,
remix, man.
how to eat to live again and think well or something like that. Something to that
Think
effect.
well. No, think well.
Okay.
New
Think
Okay.
well.
freedom. New freedom eats. New freedom
That's it.
eats.
Yeah.
Yes.
We want to put out content. We want to put out menus. We want to put out a whole menu.
Right.
So to say maybe a whole cookbook. So
Absolutely. I had a cookbook, man.
have a cookbook because we because the Bilalians need a cookbook, man. I mean, let's just be honest. I mean, like, because I think a cookbook would be nice because you can get different types of recipes as it relates to what the keto coach was saying. Healthy. What I'm saying, and something that people can do at home that doesn't require much. And you're still getting a lot of nutritional value out of it. What I'm saying. I
Right.
think that would be a good that to utilize those resources in our community, those sisters and brothers who are into health and wellness, who are dietitians, who are cooks, chefs. Call out for the chefs, call out for the dietitians and the wellness people. So I'm saying, we could just put it together, man. I'm down to put it together our publication. Roll
Right.
that out to the publication line, man. So
Right.
I'm saying, because I think it's important, that How Do You Live came out. How many years it's been since that book came out? How many years has that been, man?
That was in the 60s.
60s, man. So
Yeah.
it's still much valuable information in that. Some say, but we need the newer version because the newer adaptation with the actual application.
Hmm.
Some say everyone
Okay.
can digest, even not just the Bilalians of the
Keep
Jamaat.
going in the day, man. He
Yeah.
might do a kick a freestyle, man.
Come
Uh-oh.
on.
Yeah, I was waiting. I was waiting.
I mean, I'm just saying. I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. Come on. I'm
No,
just saying, man.
it's definitely something to think about because, like you said, I mean, so much have been improved upon in the awareness of the different health benefits of certain things. And so you're right. It's not that it disrespects, the foundation that was laid out. That was our start. So we definitely pay homage and respect to that. But we definitely do have to put our mark on it.
Oh, sure.
And I think, like I was saying yesterday too, when we had the keto coach on, people
Hmm.
need something that's very specific, right? So if you tell me that I should change my eating habits because, it's leading me closer and closer to diabetes, but then you don't give me some concrete steps or recipes or whatever have you, then it's very
Right,
unlikely
exactly.
that I'm going to be successful in that thing. So let's do it. I say let's do it.
Exactly. Exactly. Because, it's about application. You know what I'm saying? And not a lot of people have the application. You know what I'm saying? We have the information. But put it into a form where people can easily digest it. That's what beloveds want. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Beloveds can spit the knowledge all they want. You know what I'm saying? And beloveds do that all the time. You know what I'm saying? But we have a cookbook, a manual. You know what I'm saying? Upon people can meal prep, like you said, Sister Marsha, the hardest thing for you, and probably the hardest thing for a lot of people, to be honest,
right.
is meal prep. Is getting over the
Yes.
hump of I have cravings for this particular fruit or this particular fast food joint or this particular whatever. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? That how do I make a proper adjustment
Right.
and that won't kill me. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's important. That's important. You
Plus,
know.
food is, as they say, an important part of culture, right? It's like
Yes.
Right.
it preserves, flavors. Even like the flavors, right, are, they even say like certain flavors represent certain characteristics in different cultures, So it's way deeper than just, like you're saying, just eating something and not eating something.
Right. We have connections to those things that are deeper than just filling your belly.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely more levels to it. But we also are we're still in New Africa, August. So dynamic programming on yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Boyce Watkins was on there interviewed by Sharif Abdul Malik.
Nice.
And then we're also in the second half of our participation in our planning for our community development. We have the Unity, hold on, what's the name? I get the exact language. That's the exact language. Unity for Humanity, developing our Common Bond series. And we've been discussing over the last few days now also, what do we have in common? And as we just stated, what we have in common is we all have an appetite.
Mm-hmm.
We all have an appetite. We all have something that we need to eat to survive. I mean, that's common life, not just human life. That's all life has to be nourished in some form of fashion. So as they say, junk food. That's exactly what it is. You know what I mean? It's putting junk into your body. Not allowing your body to be at its optimal. There's another brother I love to get him on also. His name is Abdul Rahman. He started something called Abdul Rahman Pharmacy.
Where is that at?
He's on Facebook, and
No, but where is the pharmacy at?
the pharmacy's online. It's an online
Oh, it's
pharmacy.
an online pharmacy. Okay,
And his
okay.
whole thing is promoting the farm,
Mm-hmm.
the farm, bringing out the farm and pharmacy. Like I think Sister Marsha, you said it yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
that the food be our medicine.
That's right. That's
You know,
right. Yeah. And I don't think a lot of people think about it that way. And I can say even for myself. So anytime that I'm sort of, saying things, I'm thinking about me first. And so for a long time I didn't consider food as medicine, but it absolutely is that.
All
So
right.
when you approach it from that perspective, you're obviously looking at it differently. And possibly it makes it easier to make the lifestyle change because you're like, okay. And I notice just even friends and family that are close to me is like, well, if your kid has eczema, now you start to look into, well, what was happening before my child started to break out with this rash? What did they eat? What did they not eat? What did they, how long has it been since they had whatever it is? Like, I feel like people are now looking more into those things. Whereas when I was a child, I had eczema really bad. And it was just like, okay, we going to the dermatologist. Let's just put some medicine all over this stuff. Where it could have just been that there was something that I was consuming that may have brought that out in me. And that wasn't an approach that was taken at the time. But the things we eat absolutely have an impact on us. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a weight gain or loss type thing. It could just be, acne and things like that, eczema, like I just stated. So it's just important to look at it because we consume things without being conscious about what we consume. I mean, as Muslims, we say, okay, well, we're not going to eat pork, but there's so many other things that you may not be able to consume because of your particular makeup. And it's important to search those things out.
Excellent, excellent. So we have our special, very special guest for today's show on the in the queue behind backstage. So before we bring her on, I want to read her bio that she sent me to you all and to the audience, and make and pave the way. So Marion Simmons is a Jersey native, now based in Philadelphia, PA. She started her fitness journey in 2014, first joining Black Girls Run, South Jersey, and then obtaining a personal trainer certificate. Marion owns three LLCs. Mac Attack and Hotep are focused on foster care advocacy. Her most recent LLC is Trap and Ride, which focuses ones on creating a life changing experience while on the bike. Trap and Ride holds 45-minute spin classes, all using hip hop music. And Marion Simmons is also a proud graduate of the first degree granting HBCU Lincoln University, PA. One of my dear friends as well.
We know.
Hello.
Break it up. No further delay. Let's bring on Mr. Marion. Welcome to the show.
Hey,
hello,
sis.
hello. Happy to
How are
be
you
here. Happy to
today?
be here. Can't complain.
Yay.
Can't complain.
Yeah.
Y'all see
Jersey
my new
girl.
pillow? I'm so
Hey.
hyped about my
Oh, she got the pillow.
Merch.
Okay.
She got the merch.
You know,
Trap and
the
Ride
branding,
pillows.
man, the branding, everything.
Yes,
Everything.
yes, indeed, yes, indeed. So, I think let's start it off. I mean, like, Marion, you have made a major health transformation that I have observed online, and could you give the audience a little bit backstory about your health transformation? The who, what, when, why, how, like how that all happened, and you know just give us some background.
Yeah, absolutely. So, as I put in my bio, I started my fitness journey in 2014.
Mm-hmm.
Now I started off with Black Girls Run, where
Mm-hmm.
we just did a walk to run program,
Mm-hmm.
similar to like the Couch to 5K program that you can just get downloading the app, and eventually at the end you can run a 5K. Um, this is my third round of losing weight, so I lost weight then. I lost like 70 pounds, gained it all back. Then I lost a good like 50 pounds, gained it all back.
Really?
Now I am 85 pounds down and counting, and I'm in a really good space. So
Nice.
with Trap and Ride is cycle, spin classes. Most people have heard of Soul Cycle. There's Flywheel, there's Cycle Bar. My goal for Trap and Ride is to franchise it and to have multiple studios, but spin is a lot of fun, right? And when you're trying to lose weight, you have to get a good amount of cardio. So with spin, you're able to get intense cardio to the point that you can burn up to like 600 calories in one spin class. If you're pushing hard enough and you're keeping up, yeah, is that intense?
Sign me up, sis. Sign me
Is
up.
that
Marsha
intense? But
Marsha
most
says
people
sign
don't
her up.
realize the intensity, though. This is the thing, especially in the Black and brown community.
Uh-huh.
Most of us don't go to spin because they don't like the music. Trap and Ride is strictly city girls, Nicki Minaj, Beyonce. So my riders don't pay attention to like the actual intensity. I feel like most of my feedback via testimonials is like they get an experience. So when you're getting an experience, it can be an intense workout, but as long as you're engaged and your instructor, excuse me, as long as you're engaged and your instructor is like, I don't know, for me, like keeping you tuned in, you don't even realize that you're dying on the bike, as they would, some of them say it's like they died on the bike. So
Right.
I'm down a lot of weight, but weight loss is not even the major part of it. I've lived with depression since adolescent years. I grew up in foster care, so I've been diagnosed many years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But working out really also is a big mental kick for me. So I'm not a fan of
Mm-hmm.
psychotropic drugs. So I chose to do
Mm-hmm.
research through my friends and my tribe who noticed, like, Marion, when you work out, you feel good. When you don't
Mm-hmm.
work out, you don't feel good.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it's like a holistic approach. And I also encourage that to my members. It's not just about losing weight. Working out helps you feel good. Literally, the endorphins are amazing. It's natural. You
Mm-hmm.
don't have to worry about any crazy side effects. So I really think that that's like the big thing for me now, especially in the midst of a pandemic. I've lost between June and now, I lost 20 pounds. And prior to that, I don't remember where I was at the top of the year, but I think any business owner or entrepreneur in 2020 had to take the role of pivot and
Mm-hmm.
prosper. So you had to
Pivot
look
and
at what was
prosper.
going
Like that.
on.
I
Yeah,
like
you had to
that.
look at
Yeah.
what was going on in the world and try to find a way to stay afloat. I am very
Mm-hmm.
blessed because a lot of gyms are closing. Gyms are still
Mm-hmm.
closing. I just got a link about a gym closing in Jersey, and they're about to auction off all of the equipment there. So
Really?
it's very much
Wow.
so a blessing to even just stay afloat and for my
Mm-hmm.
business to flourish. Like
Right.
Mm-hmm.
literally in January, I was on Eventbrite.
Mm-hmm.
I just was posting. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't have a logo. I didn't have a system. Now it's August. I have memberships. I have literally followers. I have a website coming on September 1st. I have a new location now with newer bikes and more bikes and
Mm-hmm.
access to already a gym that has 3,000 members. So it's like I just for me every day is like, whoa, this
Right.
is all happening during a pandemic. Like I'm just astonished at everything going on. Like I thank God for my health transformation, absolutely, but it's so much bigger than that for me
Mm-hmm.
spiritually, holistically,
Mm-hmm.
mentally. It's so much bigger than just wow, Marion went from a size 18 to a size 8. It's like yeah, but it took a lot of work, right? So you can't just take spin. I work out, I lift, I eat right, I buy meal prep every week. I don't eat a lot of things that I used to eat anymore. I don't drink like that. There's a lot of components to this 85 pounds that I'm not done. I have 22 more pounds I want to drop. And these last 22 are going to take some serious strategic calculating, figuring out the calories, because they say like the
Mm-hmm.
closer you get to your goal, the harder it is to
Mm-hmm.
drop weight.
Mm.
So yeah,
Wow.
I was 280, 267, and now I'm 182. So
Wow. That's amazing. I'm like, I just want to lose 30. Like, I don't even need to lose 85. Like, a good 30 would be straight for me. Give me a bite.
yes, it's doable. You can do it. You can do it if you're ever in the Philadelphia area. I'm actually trying to come to New York. I'm open to like pop up classes, but I know New York gyms haven't quite fully opened yet.
Right.
But I have people in New
What's
York that are like,
yeah,
I can't wait for you to come to New York. So
well,
I'm
Sister
traveling.
yeah, Sister Marsha's in Jersey City.
Yeah,
So
I'm in
Jersey City,
Jersey. I'm
Newark,
in
Yeah.
Jersey.
Jersey City or Newark, you know what I'm saying? That's Sister
Yeah.
Marsha's town. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying?
Yeah, but
You know,
I lived in Elizabeth for a long time, so
Oh,
I know
nice.
Newark very well.
Got it.
right,
Yep. It's
right.
right next door.
Yeah,
So
my dad was from the Prince Street Project, so
Okay. That's right
mm,
down
yeah,
the
I know
street from the
Newark.
masjid.
I know Newark. I know Newark.
Nice.
you Marion, you mentioned a lot. You mentioned a couple of things that stood out. You mentioned one. You mentioned a couple of things. One being that it takes, of course, strategy. It takes work. It takes a lot of effort. A considerable amount of effort to make change, especially when it comes to health and wellness. In general, considered effort. Last night we had a special guest called the Keto Coach, and he was speaking about his lifestyle change, and it kind of reminds me similar to yours, but in your way you approach it a little bit differently. Perhaps maybe not keto per se, but can you tell the audience a little bit more about the benefits of eating healthy while while doing the riding the bike,
Mm.
because he even said, the keto coach even said that, he know people, the clients who would, like you say, lose the weight, they lose 50 pounds, but they gain it right back. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
It's not so much about, because they'll fast, they'll do a long extended fast for 30 45 days, and then they'll go right back to eating whatever they were eating prior. So
Right.
it kind of just wastes your time and wastes the energy that you did put into those, during that time. So could you speak a little bit to eating right and riding the bike?
Yes, absolutely. So part of Trap and Ride is Trap and Chew, which we just had our first Trap and
Trap and
Chew.
chew. I like that.
We just had
Okay,
our first
yes.
Trap and Chew last night. Our first Trap and Chew was last night, and it was great. We had participants from Chicago, from Baltimore, from New York, just all tune in. And it's via Zoom. It's something we're going to do once a month because, especially in
Okay.
the Black and Brown community, we lack the understanding of the importance of nutrition.
Mm-hmm.
And like, especially when people see my pictures, I always stress to them, like, I didn't get where I am eating bull crap. Like, you
Mm.
cannot outwork what you eat, right? You can't work out 5, 7 times a week. I don't care. And then eat cheesesteaks and honey buns and chips and drink soda and drink alcohol. It just is counterproductive and you're not going to hit your goal. You're just not. Right now, I eat meal prep. I really don't drink much at all. Once in a while, I have wine. Everybody knows I love fine dining. So when I do have those moments, I have a glass of wine. I'm not a drinker. I no longer really bother with white bread. Like, it becomes what's the word? You become accustomed to it. Your palate changes. A
Mm.
lot of people think that, you know, oh, I'm gonna eat healthy one day, I'm automatically gonna like healthy food. No. My first time, Push Universal Training Studio in Philadelphia
Mm.
had these transformation challenges. And
Mm-hmm.
they started off just 30 days. Now they have like 60-day ones. I think Justin Taylor's about to do like a 14-day vegan challenge. But what I'm saying is during these challenges, we were giving very strict rules. Like no sugar, no dairy, no white carbs, no alcohol, no soda, no juice. And
Damn.
I dropped 15 pounds in a month. One of the winners dropped like 20 something pounds in a month. But
Mm.
by the end of the challenge, my palate was changing. So what I
Mm.
was explaining at the end of Trap and Chew last night is give yourself some grace and understand that if you're not consistent, it's not gonna work. I can now eat food and now be like, "Ooh, this is too much salt." Because my meal preppers, I endorse meal preppers in the Philadelphia area. They're all women. I'm big on endorsing Black and brown women in business, and they don't cook with a lot of salt. They don't cook with a lot of oil. They just don't, right? And last night with Trap and Shoot is about learning, educating ourselves on what do we need on our plate? Because I just found out last night the food pyramid no longer exists. I had no idea that the food pyramid is not even a thing anymore. There's now something called a plate. And literally, it shows half your plate should be fruits and vegetables. We talked about how to properly clean your food. We talked about how to properly shelve your food. Are you
Mm.
leaving it in the fridge too long? What part of the fridge are you leaving it in? Nutrition is 80% of my journey.
Mm.
Literally. 80%. You cannot reach your fitness goals eating bad. And I don't mean to sound mean, but a lot of people I see them post, oh, I want to lose, oh, I want to lose, but then I see what you eat and I watch and I'm just like, that's why you're not losing weight. Like, you cannot drink every single day and think to lose weight. You can, and if you must drink, because I give tips to my members, like if you must drink, cut the chaser and drink one time a week. I know people who drink every single day and they're not drinking straight alcohol, which already has calories. They're adding Coke or they're adding margarita mix or they're adding whatever the case may be. And it literally is counterproductive for your goal. You
Mm-hmm.
cannot reach your fitness goals eating bad. I cannot stress that enough. I've seen people get surgeries,
Mm-hmm.
snatched, and guess what? What happens when they don't eat right? They're right back. It just it's not gonna work. And I want our people specifically. That's why Trap and Chew is here to do better. To do better. This year was all about me doing better, and I want our people to do better and educate ourselves. So I didn't know a lot of stuff either last night. I was learning.
Mm.
I purchase meal prep, right? So a lot of the things I don't think about because if I do cook, I may make some salmon, but most of the time I have my meal prep, so I don't do a lot of cooking anymore. But I was educated on shelf time. I was educated on the plate because the pyramid doesn't exist anymore. I was educated on how to properly
Just
clean my fruits and
so
vegetables.
so what's the plate? What's this plate now?
So
Because
the plate now,
last night we talked about the with the keto coach. We talked about this pyramid, but now it's a plate.
yes,
Well,
so they've
and
gotten
even the
rid of the
children use that
pyramid.
in school too, because it's called the My Plate, right? So
Yes,
they use
yes.
that in nutrition for, like in the Head Start programs, they use My Plate
Yep.
to determine how much you should be eating or not eating, how much to feed the children so that because nutrition is very much a part of the Head Start program too.
Yep. So
Okay.
the two businesses, Snatch Kitchen and LA Prep. So it's Snatch Kitchen, one word on Instagram, and the other one is LA_Prep. Snatch Kitchen is certified and has a background in nutrition. Like she really works for nonprofit. She gives
Mm-hmm.
food to those that are less fortunate on a weekly, consistent basis. Fresh produce is a big thing here in Philadelphia. And then LA Prep has a background in restaurant and being a chef and private dining. So she knows all of the codes, right? How long is your food supposed to be? What the temperatures? And then Jackie knows the nutritional side. So with the plate, it's like a regular plate. It'll say like fruits, veggies, protein, dairy, and there's grains, but it's a plate. So instead of before, remember we had like the pyramid, the whole bottom of the
Mm-hmm.
pyramid was grains and stuff, and that's why people like eating all this bread, all these white carbs, and that was not what we were supposed to be doing. So they've revamped it. They've gotten rid of the pyramid. And like I said, Trap and Shoot is a way for us to learn together as a people. I think it's important that we educate ourselves, and literally everyone that was on that Zoom last night walked away learning something that they didn't know before. I learned so much stuff. Even with cooking your meats, understand the importance of 145 degrees and like how we clean our foods. We grew up in our culture, everybody wants to clean their chicken, clean this, clean that, and how truthfully, in terms of science, you're not really cleaning your food until you cook it.
Mm-hmm.
And in our culture, we're raised to clean, clean, clean. And she's like, I don't care how much vinegar you use, it's not doing it. And she was saying how even when she you can trim your food, right? So trim the fat off,
Right.
get the feathers off. But she says she takes it, and I've seen this done before too, and burns the feather off. So I've seen
Oh,
that happen. And then of course everybody trims the fat off. But like I said, Trap and Shoe is literally like a part of Trap and Ride. And we just talk about nutrition because a lot of my members
Mm-hmm.
have the goal of losing weight. And I stress to them, you're not gonna lose the weight. Just coming to my class twice a week. It's just not realistic to think that that's how it's gonna work. You have to eat right. And I post what I eat on purpose. I endorse these meal preppers on purpose because I know how it is. Yeah, you go shopping the first week, you may want to meal prep, but then you're probably not going to want to because that's me. I don't want to meal prep. I rather pay someone
That's Marsha.
to do
Marsha.
it.
That's Marsha. The Marsha.
Like,
I think you found your meal prepper.
I'm like, listen, that is a lot of work.
I rather pay
That
them because
is
they
a
know the
lot of work.
sizes. They know
Yes.
how many ounces I'm supposed to have. They know how many ounces
Mm.
I'm not supposed to have. They know they can cater to whatever diet you're on. So if you're vegan or pescatarian or what's it, gluten free, all of
Mm.
those things, like they can cater it to you. Their prices are reasonable. The food is amazing. I wouldn't endorse something that I don't enjoy eating. Like today I had salmon, Brussels sprouts, and quinoa from another business I endorsed called Mom Duties. They're all on Instagram, and it was amazing. Like I tore it
Okay.
up. I enjoy it. Like I told you, my palate has shifted. I don't crave the salty, oily. I don't
Mm.
crave it anymore. But when you're consistent, that's how it works. Same thing with like cutting out soda. I think at Lincoln, when we had to take that class, well, I don't know if it still exists now, but there was a class if you had a high BMI, and I had to take the class.
Yep.
And one of our assignments was cutting out soda. First week, sure, it was challenging. By the end
Mm.
of the month, I wasn't even craving the soda. I used to drink Sprite like water.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Now I was with my goddaughter the other day. I took a sip of her Sprite. I was like, oh my God, this is
Right.
too much. Like, and I used to drink it like water, literally. And so much
Yeah.
sugar in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think about things like that, right? And sort of like what the challenge is for some people versus other people, because you just mentioned soda, right? And so soda wasn't something that I grew up on. My mother didn't buy soda at
Mm,
all. So like I don't drink soda and I don't give my children soda, but there may be other things that I eat that have a negative impact on me in terms of weight or health or whatever. So I think it's just important to say to people, you know, okay, you may not be drinking soda, but there may be something else that you're indulging in that is
yes.
not beneficial to you. And then our overarching theme between today and yesterday was just kind of like, well, you know, you've got to look at nutrition, and you know,
I give
that's
a
yeah,
lot of tips because I had to get educated too. I had to learn too, you know. So even now, like during my period, most women during that time, you want salt and you want sugar. I've literally created a cheat list of healthy options that will
okay,
give you what's the word? Will meet your cravings but healthier. For instance, pickles. They give you
okay,
your salt fix. But
right,
however, I give them guidelines on what type of sodium levels because you don't just want to be indulging in pickles that are just ridiculously high in salt. There's
Mm-hmm.
light ones.
Mm-hmm.
mm-hmm.
Another thing is Breyers now has these little cups that are ice cream. So there's the ones we have in house right now are 90 calories and they're Oreo. There's ones that are like, I think the highest I let them go up to was like 110 in calories. Again, during that time, you're going to want that. Another thing, Silk makes a chocolate protein milk.
Right.
Again, we want the sugar. There's a sweet option that's healthier. Applesauce. I love applesauce. I can't eat the applesauce I used to eat anymore. And I'm only allowed to eat applesauce 3 times a week. So I found the squeeze. I can't think of the name off the top of my head right now. But I'm gonna see if I can pull it up. There's a squeezy applesauce that
Mm-hmm.
when you look at it, the first thing is a high fructose corn syrup. So I've
Right.
taught my members that when you look at your ingredients, the first to the last, the most in there to the least in there.
Right.
So if high fructose corn syrup is the first thing on there, you don't
That's
need to
what
eat
you're
that.
eating.
You don't need to eat that.
Mm-hmm.
Just like us
Right.
women with our hair. If
Mm-hmm.
the first couple ingredients on a product has alcohol, you
Alcohol.
don't need
There
to
you
put that
go.
in your hair.
That's
It's
right.
the same thing with your food, but we aren't educated on those type of things. We just don't know. So
Mm-hmm.
I feel like let's learn together. And I'm trying to think of some other ones. Um, fruit something. It comes in like a push up thing too. I'm gonna find the list. But again, during that time, you want sugar. I have a list that I created for them, literally with the
Is that
cheat
like
list.
a fruit pectin type of thing?
Yeah, I'm gonna find the name of it because I
Okay.
gave them the name and also the calorie guideline because every brand normally has multiple flavors and depending on the flavor, it will affect the calories. So
Got
it's
you.
it's more to it. But like I said, I think that as a people, we just have to educate ourselves. And when you're educated, you do more. Not only do you do more, you share the wealth. Like I'm on this podcast right now,
Mm-hmm.
giving other people. There's other women who know. Trust me, I know the struggle. That
Mm-hmm.
time of the month, I normally gain because the
Mm-hmm.
cravings are like you want the sugar, you want the chocolate, you want
Mm-hmm.
the chips, and you want it at the any time of the day. So I created this list through my own journey of
Mm-hmm.
things that I do now that help me, and literally it still gives me the results. I'm gonna find this list so I can give you more specific names,
Mm-hmm.
but definitely look at your sodium, look at your carbohydrates, look at your
Mm-hmm.
sugars, look at the ingredients of things because again, high fructose corn syrup is not your friend. It's your enemy. Cut it. That's it.
So now, do you also incorporate intermittent fasting in your
I
routine?
do.
Because we talked about that yesterday as well. So can
Mm-hmm.
you talk a little bit about
I
that to us
do.
as well?
I love intermittent fasting. I was an advanced intermittent faster and I still am. I fast about 20 hours when I fast. I started off doing like 16/8, but the results when you do it and you get your macros, amazing. So If I have to go low, I'd rather at least do 18. But I
Mhm.
don't really do it every day anymore. There was a point in my life where I intermittent fasted every single day.
Okay.
Now, for example, I wanted to treat myself again. I like fine dining. I knew I was gonna have some lamb chops and some and what else? I had bread and butter, and I didn't eat the mashed potatoes, but I knew I was gonna indulge in
Right.
stuff that I don't normally eat every day. So I fasted 2 days back to back for at least 20 hours. And the last day was the day that I was planning to eat. So I literally clocked it to the point I ate nothing
Wow.
until 7 o'clock for dinner.
Right.
It works amazing, but you have to get your macros. You don't like, okay, there's two sides to intermittent fasting. Let me say this.
Mhm.
You can intermittent fast and you can do very well, but you can also intermittent fast and when you stop, you can blow right back up because you just overindulge in everything all over again that you weren't indulging in before.
Right.
So one of the things we talked about last night was eating every 3 hours. I have a girlfriend who's trying to gain weight. She eats every 2 hours. So if you can't stick to not eating for such a long period of time, start small. 16:8 is very doable. I believe that's like starting to eat at noon and eating
Yes.
ending your
Up
eating
until
at
8.
8.
Up
Mhm.
at the
Yeah.
8, yeah.
Or if you're okay, so because people think it's really not that hard.
Mm.
Think about a work day.
Right.
Mhm. Mhm.
Think about a work day. If you had to eat only while you were at work, you can do it. It's about the macros. It's about what you're eating during your time to eat too. Are you getting enough protein? You're not going to just eat rabbit food. Like, no, that you're not going to feel full. It's more than just cut off this time and not eat. So making sure you get your protein and understanding where protein comes from. There's a lot of other things besides just meat. Sometimes I don't do meat. Sometimes I'll do chickpeas for my protein for a week.
Okay.
I've learned those things through like literally my weight loss journey. So it's different, but I just I will say there's a flip side to it. And I just want to say that because a lot of times people, excuse me, a lot of times people do intermittent fasting and then when they stop, they go back to how they were before. And because your body is not used to that, you will blow back up. I'm going to be the
Mm.
one to tell you, I believe in
Mm.
honesty.
Mm.
You will blow back up.
Mm.
Right.
So for me, I don't intermittent fast every day now, but I also know what to eat and what not to eat. I also know how my calorie burn is. It's a science to it. It's a
Right.
science to it. Like I went and had lamb chops, had a crazy week,
Mhm.
emotional eating the whole nine, but I still managed to drop 4 pounds this month. So it's like once you get that science down and you understand calories and how you need to burn more than you eat. Like I burn at least 1,000 calories almost more days than not. So at least 5 days a week. I have an
Right.
Apple Watch. I try to hit
Mm.
500 by noon. I
Mhm.
start my days very early, but I will tell you, I'm up running at 5, 6 a.m. Just a
Mhm.
mile that kickstarts my calorie burn. I'm already burning at least 200, 300 calories before 7 o'clock in the morning. So all of these are tips that I post and I tell people, be accountable for yourself, even in terms of working out. I have a close friend lost over 100 pounds just walking 2 miles a day. Of course, yes, you change your eating, but that
Mm.
is a non-strenuous thing to do every day.
Right. Right.
And even if you don't want to go outside if it rains, my roommate found on YouTube they have a guided 1 mile walk. I tell my girls if you can't make it outside, do the 1 mile walk and start it over. Get your 2 miles. I'm telling you, it's the simplest thing, but a lot of people lack consistency in their fitness journey, and that is like number one. Honestly, if you can't be consistent, then it's going to be a hard road. And I'm just being honest. It is going to be a hard road because for me to lose 70, then get it back, then lose 50, then get it back, and now I'm at 85. I learned that you got to stick to this, Marion. Right? You can't just like do it sometimes and then not do it. And it is challenging at first, but to me, the more you're consistent, the easier it gets. Like I would go out to eat with my friends fasting and I would be
Mm.
okay. And I would literally say to the waiter, I need 3 glasses of water loaded with lemon, loaded, and I will be okay. But I had to get to that point, you know.
Mm.
Right.
So, um, be mindful, give yourself some grace. Understand that if you're not consistent, it's it's just counterproductive for what you're trying to do. This year, I feel like, and I listen to a lot of podcasts, and my girlfriends on Ladies in Lingerie just said this on their most recent episode, that this year we're almost at January again, which was the start of this pandemic. And I have to quote Brittany on this. If you, by the time January hits, have not done something to better yourself or your finances, it's a problem. This was a year that I feel like we were forced to slow down. We were
Right.
forced to have the time to really tune in on us. Yes, I lost 2 jobs out of 4. Then both my gyms closed where I worked at. But during that time of them closing, for a change, Marion had time to sit down and work on her business plan. Marion had time to sit down and get back on her grind with working out. The only thing we could do was go outside. You should have used that time to go walk. You need vitamin D. Go outside. If
Mm-hmm.
you reach January after the world has allowed us to slow down and you haven't done something to better yourself or your finances or just something you always wanted to do and it just seemed like time never allowed you to do it, it's a problem. This was a year, if you had a fitness goal, in my opinion, you could have been killing it
Right.
because all that time in terms of not just fitness, mental health, we needed to get out. We needed to go for a walk. We were
Mm-hmm.
stuck in our houses. If you have children, you're stuck with your kids. You have
Mm-hmm.
Zoom for work. Go for a walk. Get outside. Go for a walk. It is like the most simple yet freeing and relieving and peaceful thing that you can do for your mind, not even just your body. Just go outside, go for a walk. And I think that a lot of people, when it comes to fitness, they come up with these crazy, out of the world ideas that they're going to do to achieve their goal. And my advice, slim it down. 2 mile walk, more days than none. So at least 5 times a week. And cut out 3 things: white carbs, sugar, and limit your salt. I challenge anyone to do those 3 things. Get on a scale first, then
Mm.
do those 3 things for 14 days. And DM me at Trap and Riot LLC on Instagram what happens. And I'm not speaking this out of being cocky. I'm speaking this because I've done it, right? I've experienced it and I live with someone who does what I do now and has lost weight. So I know it can work. Again, 2 mile walk, 5 times a week. Cut out salt. Limit salt. Cut out sugar. Cut out white carbs. 14 days. And let me know what happens.
Nice.
Simple.
Mm.
Simple. Doesn't have to be complicated.
So I want to hear more about the trap and ride experience. I want to know how lit it get in there.
Listen, it gets very lit in there, okay? It gets very lit, and
It
my
sounds
riders don't look
fun.
like your average riders. They are curvy, they are black and brown, and they are beasts. And I love all of them. They put their best foot forward on that bike. We take songs like I'm trying to think of an appropriate one to say on air because I use a lot of ratchet music.
Okay,
Hot,
ratchet and
hot by
ride.
right, hot by what's his name? The Young Thug, not Young Thug. Who I don't know who sings Hot, but Hot is like the trap and ride. If it was like a MySpace out, that would be the song that I would have in the background. So
Okay.
Hot is a track. I'm gonna do you better yet. I'm gonna play a little snippet. So I'm gonna give y'all a little taste of what we do. Hot is a track. I'm sure when you listen to it, it's just like, oh yeah, this is decent. Now on the bike, I take Hot and I use it as a out of the saddle, meaning you're standing up on the bike song for full
Okay.
time. And you're doing tap back. So tap backs mean like, okay, this
Mm.
is you on the bike, right?
Mhm.
You're tapping your butt to the seat and popping back up. So you're tapping
Okay.
your butt to the seat and you're popping back up.
Okay.
We do that pretty much, excuse me, the whole song, literally. And there's resistance added on. So, of course, your legs are feeling it, your arms are feeling it, but the music is what keeps them going. Normally, if I'm teaching that class, when I also work at Edge Fitness, I turn it up a little bit because I like the mute. It's the final song. You're at your breaking point. You're ready to get off. You're ready to go home. So I tell them, listen, I'm going to crank this because listen, it's your final track. We're going to finish strong and we're going to finish together. And the music, I promise you, they kill it. They kill it. So I'm going to play a little snippet of it. Of course, my computer does what it wants to do when it wants to do it.
Now,
All right.
how long is the ride?
45 minutes.
Okay.
45 minutes. It used to be longer, and sometimes I will admit it can go over, depending on a playlist. Like September's playlist is crazy, but in all the right reasons. Like I say that, and people are like, "Oh my god!" But it's like it's crazy, but for all the right reasons. Because I know like the workout is about to be crazy, but the songs are so dope that you can't even really focus on what we're gonna be doing on the bike because
Right.
it's just that lit. But a lot of
Okay.
people are like, oh my God, Marion, what are you about to put on there? So this is hot. And I'm going to play, and there's a doing noise is what I call it in the background. So whenever that noise happens, I say tap. And again, that's what that butt popping. Yes. So here we go. I'm going to show you the doing. Tap.
Yep.
And we're
Tap.
standing up on a bike, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So that noise is the tap.
Gotcha.
And there's resistance on tap. I could do this all day. This is Trap and Bride's go-to tap. And they love it. They love it. The
Okay.
resistance is
Okay.
up. You're out of the saddle, but that builds your legs. That helps with your
Right.
booty. It helps with a lot of things. Another song that we just started using is Live by it's Megan Thee Stallion and Crew something. Let me get his name. But that is a core killer for me. So what happens is you're out of the saddle, you're in position 3. So the handlebars on a bike is 2 parts. The bottom is position 2, but if you're at the top of the handles, it's position 3. So for Live with Megan Thee Stallion and Max, so we literally what's the word I'm looking for? We lean forward. So when you're leaning forward, you're feeling it like here. So, I have like mini guns that are building, but like you feel it in here. And then, so that's leaning forward. And then I say go back when Megan's on this chorus part. So in the back part, you're just pretty much straight. Now doing the verses though, you have to go low, and you have to go low as in you're not sitting down. Your butt is back.
So not a squat. So not a squat.
No.
They're further down.
No, you're not letting your butt sit. Your butt, however, is right over the seat.
Gotcha.
So your hips are back, your butt is right over that seat, and you're holding it for the verse.
And
So
you want
what
to
we do
sit
a lot
down
of
so
times,
bad.
we're bopping to kind of give
Wow.
us the momentum to
Gotcha.
hold it.
Oh yeah,
Because if you
that's
just
that's a lot of
sit there,
resistance.
yeah, you would hate it. It's like nobody wants to sit there like that. But that's a core killer. So
Gotcha.
then we have something called isolation. Now, before I go to isolation, I'm going to play a sample of this track, the core killer track. So now we're forward for this part. Again, their hands are at the top of the bike. Come on. You're going to hear Megan. Now this, you're back, so you're straight up and down on the bike. Now after her part is the verse, and that's when that right over the seat. Your hips are back, and it hurts, but it works. It works. So this is where we would be low. Now isolation is all about balance, core, and coordination. Isolation is slow, but smooth. So you're not bopping when you're moving slow. It's heavier in resistance, yes, but you are controlling only your legs. So literally, the rest of your body is not moving. It sounds crazy, but it's the truth. You're holding Position 2, which is the bottom of the handle, and you're moving your legs smoothly with higher resistance. Now, of course, if you have bad knees and stuff, you may not go as heavy on the resistance. But the goal for isolation is core and balance. So people who are cyclists outside love isolation because it helps them when they have to keep balance outside on the road for the bike. So those are just like a couple things. So I gave you guys core, I gave you legs, I gave you isolation, and then we have songs that are a climb. My climb song right now is well, at Edge, I use Roses by Rick Ross and Drake. It is a very long song, but I start off that track with this is a song that builds legs. This is a song that tones thighs because it's a leg song. You're climbing, but it's a leg. So you're in the saddle, you're heavier on resistance, and then there's certain parts where I have you get up and stretch it out, meaning let's loosen those muscles back up because you've been pushing with heavy resistance. Then you come back down and you add it on again. Then you go for about a minute, then you come back up, you stretch it out, you come back down, you're adding it on again. So that's a climb, also great for legs. And then there's a sprint. So sprints are not empty. You still have some resistance on there, and you're just moving your legs as fast as you can. Normally for maybe like 30 seconds tops. Sprints are not meant to be like whole tracks. It's more so intervals. So I gave you legs, core, climb. Oh, roll out. That was on a summer trap and ride playlist by Ludacris. That is the upper body track. So the whole time, I'm gonna sit you guys right here. So the whole time Luda is saying roll out, we're here. Roll out, roll out. So again, the mini guns that are coming in, that part of them, because that song, I'm telling you, it's a great song, but when you actually work out to it, you're not a fan of it because it's long. But
Right.
battle with that. What am I missing? Oh, a jog or a flat. So a flat means you're staying saddle the whole time and you're adding some resistance. A jog can most likely going to be out of the saddle with a consistent RPM of at least 60. RPMs, most time people think about speed. It's a little more complicated than that, and that takes a long time to break down. But the things that you focus on when you're in a spin class are your watts, aka your power, your RPMs, and what else? No, I think that's pretty much it. Now, some bikes have something called a level. Well, it'll be like 1, 2, whatever. But my bikes at Edge don't have that, and the ones I'm going to have for Trap and Ride right now don't have it either. But I'm also going through spin development training, so I'm big on mentorship. So I have 3 spin mentors. One is in Atlanta, the other 2 are in New Jersey, and one of my assignments was RPM. So I had to do within 10 days, 6 classes where 3 tracks I hit at least 90 to 100 RPMs. Now, it doesn't mean the whole time. It just means it could be interval style. And then that assignment I had to do again 10 days, 6 classes with increasing my watts, which is your power, your resistance, and still keeping the 90. I did not do well, but it is
It's a start.
it is an assignment that people who've been teaching for 20 years would struggle with because a lot of people don't ride off power. A lot of people ride off RPMs, which I've been doing since I started. So I got certified in November. I started teaching my first gig. I got hired by Edge in December. I started Trap and Ride in January, and we're now in August. So I'm actually, but I'm really good and really passionate about what I do.
Nice. Any advice you'd give to someone who is wanting to go on their fitness journey or make a lifestyle change? Any advice that you like, some specific things that you would give them?
Number 1, give yourself some grace. We are our hardest critics, literally. Give yourself some grace and keep it simple. A lot of times people make it very complicated. Even on Trap and Jew, we were saying most of you guys probably gonna go on Pinterest, start making these crazy boards with these crazy recipes. It don't gotta be like that. You know, Jackie advised them, come up with the 3 proteins you really enjoy. They come up with 3 green vegetables that you really enjoy. And like they talk about flavor. Maybe you want teriyaki style. Maybe you want like a herb style. Simple. But a lot of times in fitness journeys, people get real complicated. Yourself. Give yourself some grace, moderation, right? You're not going to get honey buns and cheesesteaks and French fries and crab. You're not gonna finish that. Give it moderation. One time a month, I now do fine dining with a close friend. Prior to that, my trainer at the time had me doing every 5 pounds, I get one cheat meal. Stop the whole cheat day thing. Y'all do it. I've done it. Cheat meal, right? And enjoy it. Now, me, I'm still a little strict on myself. So when I went to my fine dining, I didn't eat the mashed potatoes because I just know my body and how fast I can gain weight eating those type of carbs. But moderation, simplicity, give yourself some grace, and don't get on the scale every day. I do it real. I used to be so bad with it.
Me too.
Now every couple, especially with intermittent fasting, because that thing can make you drop 5 pounds in a day.
Yes.
So I used to get on the scale like it was nobody's business. Okay. Now, like once a month, maybe twice. So I just got on the scale for that 182. I won't get back on the scale until probably like the 12th or so of September.
Oh, great. That's good. That's good. I don't have that kind of discipline. I'll be like, let's see how I'm doing tomorrow.
No. What are you gonna do? Oh my God, I didn't lose weight.
Right.
Oh no. Like must one time. If you because our bodies change with a lot of different things, whether for us, our hormones and menstruals. Also, like, depending on the type of workouts you do, I cross train, so I lift and I, obviously spin it's cardio mostly. It has some strength components too, but it's mostly cardio. So I cross train. So I have to be mindful of muscle mass versus fat and like.
So since you're saying that, I wanted to ask, how important is it to look at the measurement versus the number on the scale? Because we just talked about that. Like people are like religious about getting on that scale, but you just said you're doing resistance training, you're doing some cross training, and so you're building muscle, and that holds weight.
Yep.
So yeah,
it is like I know what my body fat percentage is, and I know like realistically I can get to 160. It's getting harder to get there, but it can happen. You have to be mindful of, for me, the non-scale victories. Listen, being able to shop at Victoria's Secret again, being able to wear certain things that I never could wear before, being able to shop in places, not having to worry about things not having my size. All of those things motivate me. It's not just a scale. Taking a picture and seeing yourself and like noticing things getting loose or my collarbone. Oh my God, my collarbone started to pop. This was the second time I got my weight back. I started a hashtag bring back Mary's collarbone. So when I started losing again, and now it's here, not even just here, my fingers to me are skinnier now. I told you I'm noticing like I now have like some type of muscle here. This part of my upper body has like started to define. I have a spine line now. I've never had a spine line, but I've been lifting, and I wore this beautiful jumpsuit that had like a back out part. And I took a picture and was like, oh my gosh, like I have a spine line. That stuff makes me so happy. So don't focus on a scale. Let me tell you, when you start seeing the muscles, I took a picture. I have an understudy because I'm trying to franchise. I took a picture with her. I saw my legs, the back of my legs. I said, yo, do y'all see those muscles? Like, I got muscles now in the back of my legs. Like, yo, I got muscles. Like, that stuff is like a high for me. Like,
gotcha.
Cool, but when you start seeing the muscles, yo, or you go to flex, or if you're doing leg work, which I do, I finally even have a butt. I never had a butt all my life. If I had to fight, I paid off, man. The lunges, the squats, the spin. I got a little cup going, kind of curve it out a little bit, like that stuff. Y'all see how I'm getting right? Because this is first, like, yes, God, like doing squats, or you're on a leg press machine, or like the leg curl ups. I don't know all the official names. I'm the worst at that. But you'll start to see the line. Like, I have a line just lifting my legs up right now. I have like a line. You can see that the quads are coming in. You can see, listen, especially as a woman,
Right.
that woman want to lift. Oh, I want to lift, honey. I want to get strong. I do. Like, I'm here for it. Or
Okay.
the started to show on my feet. Look, all of these things. Shoes that I didn't have for years now. Heels looser now around, like, all that stuff. So anyone out there, the scale is cool, but your clothing, your muscles, oh, how you go up the stairs. Today I ran my first 10 minutes, something mild, 10 minutes, 24 seconds or something. I never did that before. I started off running a mile in 17 minutes.
Right.
Minutes. I always say I wish I could run a 10-minute mile. I wish I could run. Today at 7 a.m. I finally hit it and I got 10. I think it was 13.
Congratulations.
Nice.
Like 10:13 on Nike, but I forgot to turn off my Apple Watch, so my Apple Watch was like 10:24. But still,
Right.
10.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, bruh.
I did it. Yes. You have arrived.
Cute, but the other goals, the list is long.
Right.
I was in bikinis all summer. I was in Cuba a couple years ago in only one pieces. This summer I wore the most. You have to be confident in yourself. You have to own your body swimwear all summer 20 string bikinis. And I felt good. And I looked good. You know, that is something that as any woman will tell you, you have to, that is the most body showing, all the curves that you don't want people to see. It's no way to hide it when you wear a string bikini. But when I wore my string bikini, I noticed my upper body's leaning out. I noticed how much my waist has shrunk. I started off ordering waisties at like a 49. I'm ordering now a 34. Like,
wow.
So much more than the scale. I could go on and on, as y'all can see, because it's really like the list of non-scale victories that I have.
Right.
Tremendous. This is a size small from Target, and it's not even like this on me.
Right.
Like, no, there's so much more to life than like the scale, man. There's so much more. Order from Victoria's Secret, even though I'm mad because well, anyone who's out there who's really big, like I was close to 300 pounds, you lose your breasts. I'm just going to let you know now. They disappear. I'm a B cup, and I can't even tell you the last time. About the non-scale victories, man. Like, I'm a beast. Even with spin, I used to struggle to hit 100 on a sprint. I hit 149 last week.
Nice.
149.
Nice.
How fast that is?
Yeah.
With on. Okay.
So wait, so I have a question. Do you have brothers that are part of your spin class too?
I have men sometimes, but not a lot of men.
Okay.
So mainly women.
Yeah,
mainly a lot of women.
Mm-hmm. Now, when I was at Cherry Hill Edge, I had a faithful. There was a white man who came to my class every Sunday. I had.
That might have been for those reasons. You gotta watch out.
Right. Gotta be careful.
There's an awesome instructor in Chicago, black man, awesome. There's men who get on a bike and could kill it. Don't get me wrong, but I just not yet. I'm not opposed to it, you know.
All right,
Bilal, you ready? We
let's go, Bilal. Let's go.
Pop snap, men pops. I'm ready to have men in my class to see them keep up.
Oh,
that's
is that a challenge?
I'll lift. But what about your cardio though? What is your cardiovascular like? Because mine is amazing. Now I teach with a mask on and I'm sprinting. My cardiovascular is A1. So bring your lifting cells. Oh, I'll lift. Let's get on this bike. And let's see who's really about it, because you can lift all day, but what is your cardio? Well,
so now everybody in the class is wearing masks. You just said too, right? Yeah. Oh wow.
Wow.
Okay.
Girls don't like it. Like right now, my space that I'm moving into on the 1st of September is bigger, so I feel like it'll be okay. However, the last space we were in, the spin room was small, so they hated when it rained. They hated when we couldn't be outside because I was lugging the bikes across the street into the park, and we would go
Mm-hmm.
outside. They wouldn't have to wear their masks, but they did not like them inside. I think this new place they're going to be okay because there's more ventilation for them to breathe. But at Edge Fitness, I teach 3 times. Last week I taught 5 times. I wear a mask every time. So again, my cardiovascular is it because if you right now, I understand we don't like it, right? We don't want to wear the mask, but it's training your lung, like everyone's lungs who's been in the gym, and having to wear them. It's gonna be great. You're gonna be so much stronger. It sounds crazy, but I try to look at the bright side instead of dwelling on what we don't like, right? Because this is our new normal too. And I don't know about y'all. I've been hit my fitness goals, so if I gotta wear a mask. I wear a mask. If I gotta be 6 feet apart, I'm 6 feet apart. If I have to wipe the bike before, wipe it after, wipe it in between, I'll do it.
So can you Marion, talk about the other 2 LLCs you have as well briefly? Let people know about the other work that you do as well.
HOTEP LLC stands for Holding On to Exceptional People.
Mm-hmm.
Was mainly because I grew up in foster care and I was always under a whole bunch of other people's companies when I went to conferences and I got requested and I didn't want to do that anymore. So I wanted to be under myself. It's still around. I just don't really focus on the gigs with that. In
Mm-hmm.
terms of trauma and like reliving things, certain stuff in my life, I'm always going to be an advocate for foster care. I sign petitions. I've been on the Hill. I've been requested by the federal government by my first and last name. There's plenty of articles and accolades out there, but in terms of me knowing myself more now, I do what I can from where I'm at, right? So I know my boundaries, but I'm open to it if opportunities present themselves. If
Mm-hmm.
people reach out, I still will do gigs. Motivational speaking was a big thing for me. Now, Mac Attack was started in 2008, and that was a group of us. We were all in foster care still, but we were all in the same program, and we started doing presentations for our program to their new hires, and then travel. So Colorado, Tennessee, like a lot of different conferences. We were training people who work with foster children. So they're still around. Like Mac Attack, I'm kind of done. It's still going on. Hotep is still my baby. Like I said, if gigs or opportunities come in, I'm all for it. And now, Trap and Ride is I don't want to say it's the most successful. It's been the most work, right? So I had to brand, I have to promote, I have to
Mm-hmm.
buy, and then I'm trying to franchise. So right now, my business is with the U.S. Patent Department because I'm trying to get my trademark. Like there's like way more work, so it's way more work, but I really enjoy Trap and Ride, and I'm excited because I feel like when you work in fitness, you can never really get fat again, in my opinion. I teach spin a lot, so it's like I always get my cardio in. There's no way I don't get my cardio in because I teach. Now there are people who spin who don't get on a bike or they're barely on a bike, but I prefer to use it as a workout for myself too. So I'm on the bike during and with my girls going through the trenches. Like I said, we in the mud together. We're all trying to get through this track. It's not just you. I feel it too. Don't think that
Right.
I'm cruising through because I'm not. But it's also track 4 too, which is tonight at 7 via Zoom. All 4 workouts Tabata style. So Tabata means it's 45 seconds on, 15 seconds off. If you want an idea of the type of workouts we do, sit-ups, toe reaches, planks, ladder crosses, leg
Mm-hmm.
raises, plank, weighted crossovers, and Russian twists. And then for trap and core, for trap and weights, that's on Fridays. You use your body weight to strength train. Also Tabata style, and that includes burpees, push-ups, squats, power jacks, lunges, planks, leg kicks, and traveling knee lifts.
Excellent. Excellent. And then and you can Marion can be found on Instagram, Trap and Ride LLC. Champ and Right
Yep.
LLC, where she has all this information about all these wonderful classes, wonderful work that she's doing. And you see, she's talking about franchising, which is a whole nother conversation in itself. And it's very important for us to get into that as Black and Brown African Americans in this country. Franchising, and you see, she's trademarking. She's going through the U.S. Patent Department. So this is what we mean by, again, we can take ourselves serious in reference to the things that we want to do in life, and in reference to not just establishing ourselves on an individual level, but also establishing the community, establishing the community in terms of health, wellness, entrepreneurship, all types of economics, spiritual, you name it. We touched upon mental. She touched upon mental health, spiritual health. This all of these interconnect. All these aspects that we talked about between today with Marion and yesterday with Keto Coach and our previous shows prior, all have a connection into building a what they call the community, or the beloved community, as Dr. King would say, has said, or however you might want to look at it. So again, Marion, it's definitely an honor to see you. It's an honor to see you making big moves with your brand. We pray for the best. The best for you,
Thank you.
We're here to promote.
Listen, Soul Cycle, I'm coming for you. Just know, Soul Cycle, I'm coming for you.
She's talking big. Soul Cycle about to be out of here. Move over.
I'm
Sheriff.
coming for you.
Yes,
I'm coming for you.
Yes.
No, but this is good. Dean, you got anything to add? Ask.
No, I see there's a question online.
Oh, we have a question?
Is there an online schedule we can download for your services or for
Yes, so there's two sides to that. So I offer memberships, right? So if you have a bike at home, you can sign up for a membership for my spin classes. All of that, you can contact me via DM on Instagram. Now, if you're interested in the trapping core and the trapping weight, that is just like a $5 donation, and normally at the beginning of class I just put the Cash App in there and just people do it that way. Now for Trap and Chew, it just passed. That won't happen till next month. My biggest advice is follow me on Instagram, because I post everything and there's highlight, so you can click on Trap and Core, Trap and Chew, you'll see it. I do that on purpose so that if anyone comes and they're looking for the specifics, it's up there. But yeah, if you have a bike, I have virtual members. I have members in Jersey. I have a member. No, both of my virtual members are in Jersey, actually. But I just had an inquiry from Arizona. So it's like, as long as you have. Yes, and she see, I love people. She done already followed me. I love people like that. They don't just talking. No, I'm not trying to be funny, but they actually go and follow you. But definitely. Thank you for following me, and all that you're looking for is on there.
Excellent.
She gonna bring me out of retirement. You know what I mean? I used to be a cross country runner. You know what I mean? You saw that stamina, the stamina.
Former cross country.
Real heavy now.
Former cross country.
Talking real heavy.
She got real close to the screen. You know what I mean?
Listen, you are talking very heavy.
Former baseball player too. Former
baseball player. Get on that bike and plummet. So you're talking heavy.
Wait, she said plummet. She said plummet.
But we're gonna see what happens when you come to Trap and Ride. And I'm trying to do pop-ups. So New Jersey's not open yet, but at least I have Bilal's information. I can get in contact with you.
Yes.
Especially in that area. I plan to do a pop-up when New Jersey gyms are back open. I am gonna pop up. And you, sir, I want to see you on a bike in the class. Absolutely. And I want to see if you plummet.
Okay.
The only thing, because I do have to you coming out of retirement, that means you haven't used your cardiovascular much in a very long time. So
Marion, he's a former baseball player too. He's talking about he used to get all these
but retirement, that means he hasn't done it in a while. So it's like, that sounds good, but
I'm gonna start off with the 2 mile a day, 5 days a week.
No, after what you just said, I'm gonna do that. Running 2 miles a day, every day. Like, after what you just said, you don't need to walk. You can't. No, you're not allowed to take that method. You need to run 2 miles. And what did I say? No. For you, it's no sugar, no dairy, no salt. No, you get the.
She threw the dairy in there. That's right. No, now she threw the dairy.
You get the whole
bean pie.
But before I do have to go, because I have to get ready for Trap and Core, I just want to say there are other components of Trap and Ride. So there's Trap and Ride, there's Trap and Chew, there's Trap and Core, there's Trap and Trail, which obviously there's hiking. That's
Mhm.
there's Trap and Serve, where I'll be giving back to the
Mhm.
foster care community, starting with
Mm.
school supplies this season, and then we're gonna do Thanksgiving. There's Trap and
Nice.
Retreat, where me and my girls go away. I'm really big on self care, so there's Trap and Self Care, where I have endorsed certain businesses. Um, Pretty much for every category, there's an endorsed business of some sort, pretty
Okay.
much. But those are all the traps, which is why I had to make sure I submitted to the patent department, because I'm gonna blow up. I got a really good plan going right now, and there's
Yes,
so many
sis.
dope components. So, God is gonna make a way. I'm gonna get this patent. I'm gonna get my trademark, and I'm gonna open my 5 studios in Atlanta, Brooklyn,
Mm.
DC,
Now we
Houston, Los
talking
Angeles,
big.
and
Ooh-wee.
Toronto.
Ooh-wee.
Yes.
And they love your
Yes.
Toronto. You know,
And
the
Toronto.
Canadians,
Yes,
yeah, the
yes.
Canadians are good people.
Listen, it's a lot of black and brown people up there.
Oh
So,
Yeah.
yes, yeah, definitely, 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 definitely. But
but
yeah,
thanks for
so
having me again.
no,
I do
it's no
have to
problem.
prep for my class, but you guys know where to find me. If you guys have questions, I haven't publicly announced it, but I will be offering weight loss coaching soon. I have some guinea pigs I'm working on first. But I will start to offer weight loss coaching, because I am not a trainer. I'm just certified in spin. So
Mhm.
Gotcha.
yeah,
Excellent.
Not sure, but
follow my Instagram.
we appreciate you, Marion, for coming
No
on.
problem. This
We
Absolutely.
don't
was
want to
great talk.
we don't want to hold you from your prep for this class, but we thank you for again for tuning in,
No problem.
for coming on to the show. We appreciate you. We want to have you back. You know what I'm saying? We definitely want to bring our studio to one of your spin classes
Oh,
if that would
yes.
be
I'm
if
gonna
that
be
would
in
Yes.
be
there. I'm gonna be
All
in
That
there.
right for me.
yes, and make sure he can't be holding the camera. He got to be on the bike. Anybody else can hold the camera, but he
I'm
has to
on
be
the
we
on
can
the
bike.
bike.
hold the
Yeah.
camera, and be on the bike.
No, he
I'm
has
mad
to
at
be
him,
on the
got
bike.
you. Nah, I got
No,
it.
he can't be on camera duty or none of that. He has to be on the bike when he comes, because he talks too much
Facts.
smack. So I want to
Got
see.
it. I got it. No problem, sis. Thank you
Well,
again.
No
Thank
problem.
thank you,
you.
Marianne. Thank you so
Alrighty, talk to you
much.
guys soon.
All right.
Bye.
As for everyone else, this is New Freedom
Yes.
Exchange. Any more closing remarks or
No, that
comments?
was great. Today was a wonderful show, and I'm glad that we have another opportunity to focus on health and wellness, and getting out there and taking care of ourselves. And now you all have another option
Mm-hmm.
for how you can do that. So we talked yesterday about changing your eating habits. We talked about that today as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday was in relation to chronic illnesses,
Mm-hmm.
and today, we sort of just talked about it in terms of living healthier. But, you know, now we giving you options. You can get on that bike, trap and ride. Let's
Yeah, my
go.
Yeah.
bike. On
Yes.
my bike, man. I got a bike. I mean,
I
I ain't
gotta get a
all
bike.
I got a bike, man. You know what I mean? We did 5 miles in our sleep.
Listen,
Come on.
listen.
Come on up.
Sis is hype. She
Yes,
got
we was
me
doing
ready.
that.
I'm ready.
No, this was a great. This was excellent. Excellent show. Again, I like the build up. Both shows were very important. So if you guys have not saw the Keto Coach, the first show on yesterday, Sunday. Excuse me, I want to say Monday, Sunday, and today's show. Definitely catch the replay on YouTube. New Freedom Exchange. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also like the page New Freedom Exchange. Follow us on IG, New Freedom Exchange as well. Our Patreon is down below as well. Patreon.com/NFX Daily. If you like this daily content we're bringing you, with all of these very special, esteemed guests that we're bringing from all across the Jamaat, all across the community. We're not limited to one particular scale, but we welcome your subscriptions. Patreon.com/NFX Daily. Last but not least, the Heritage Fund, the Cultural and Heritage Fund, the Bilalian Trust. Our first publication is out for the Human Dignity series. Any donation that you give to that, PayPal down below, running across the screen, $1. It doesn't matter how large or how small, you will receive that publication via your email. Very eco-friendly. We're not printing and wasting trees. We are utilizing technology to get our message across. And look out for New Freedom Eats and how to eat to live again. Those will be publications. Those will be publications through the Bilalian Trust, and it'll be available as well. But that I think that's my. Oh, and our next show. Our next show coming up. Deen, if you have another announcement, while I pull up the next show, I think that's coming up. That's this week. We have a special guest, Sister Tasleem Jamila, coming up this week. She is a poet, activist, artist, all of that, mother, a wife. She will be joining with us to debut our new single called "We Resilient." That's off our upcoming latest new EP, which is coming out soon. This song is produced by Professor Griff from the infamous Public Enemy, the very famous and infamous Public Enemy group in hip hop. So we'll be honored to have her talk about that, and also she will give us. She wasn't on for our other shows, so those who were on who caught Imam Rashad Abdul Rahman, those who caught Sister Khadija Sadiq Muhammad, Sister Tasleem Jamila was also in the class, Imam Muhammad's 2004 Youth Dawah class as well. So she has let us know that she wants to really talk about her experience in that class. So if you missed Sister Khadija Sadiq Muhammad, if you missed Imam Rashad, go back to our YouTube channels and watch those two links to get ready in anticipation for our next show.
Excellent. So that's all we got today. I'm gonna leave us with something short and sweet since we've been talking real healthy. We're gonna bring it back with the New Freedom Pie commercial.
Okay.
But
that has milk in it, Aki.
Yeah, we're gonna work on that.
I mean, you heard this,
everybody talking about these cheat days, cheat meals. You can have a delicious treat. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We need to get ready. We coming for the keto coach. We know he likes the bean pie too, so we're gonna slide him one. Casa, we're gonna slide him one.
We got substitutes. Coconut milk. We got some things we're working on.
You got some substitutes, Aka?
Yeah, we got some joints in the chain.
Okay, we'll talk about that offline. We'll talk about offline.
Yeah,
okay, we'll talk about that offline. Okay, we'll roll that out. We come. That's why I told people we're coming. Freedom Pie is coming. Interstate trafficking. We're coming to take it over. The city next to you. We're starting out all pie competitions. I'm calling out all pie beloveds, man. So put that commercial up there, Alex. Show them what the truth is, man.
Until next time, peace. This is New Freedom Exchange.
Peace.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
We king of the pies, new flavors on the scene. Started out with the navy bean, I can't make it up, no Maybelline. We had to do for self and get paid the green. Started out with the bean pie. It's a must, gotta eat to live. You gon' see why we them guys. It's kind of freedom pie. Come taste the secret recipe, secret recipe, secret recipe. Dessert food is our specialty, is our specialty, is our specialty. Your taste buzzing with freedom lies. That new freedom pie. Your taste buzzing with freedom lies. That new freedom pie.